Chapter 3: What survives of the Marxian creed? Before making a comparison between the ideologies of the Buddha and Karl Marx, it is necessary to note how much of this original corpus of the Marxian creed has survived, how much has been disproved by history, and how much has been demolished by his opponents. The Marxian creed was propounded sometime in the middle of the 19th century. Since then, it has been subjected to much criticism. As a result of this criticism, much of the ideological structure raised by Karl Marx has broken to pieces. There is hardly any doubt that Marxists' claim that his socialism was inevitable has been completely disproved. The dictatorship of the proletariat was first established in 1917 in one country after a period of something like 70 years after the publication of his Das Kapital, the Gospel of Socialism. Even when the communism, which is another name for the dictatorship of the proletariat, came to Russia, it did not come as something inevitable without any kind of human effort. There was a revolution, and much deliberate planning had to be done with a lot of violence and bloodshed before it could step into Russia. The rest of the world is still waiting for coming of the proletarian dictatorship. Apart from this general falsification of the Marxian thesis that socialism is inevitable, many of the other propositions stated in the lists have also been demolished both by logic as well as by experience. Nobody now accepts the economic interpretation of history as the only explanation of history. Nobody accepts that the proletariat has been progressively pauperized. And the same is true about his other premises. What remains of the Karl Marx is a residue of fire, small but still very important. The residue, in my view, consists of 4 items. The function of philosophy is to reconstruct the world and not to waste its time in explaining the origin of the world. That there is a conflict of interest between class and class. That private ownership of property brings power to one class and sorrow to another through exploitation. That it is necessary for the good of society that the sorrow be removed by the abolition of private property.